Okay, so it is 6:30 in the morning and I've been up for probably about an hour or so, and I am working on my lovely um, journal, the spiritual growth journal, the gratitude journal. Yes. So I'm working on my gratitude journal. It's 6:30 in the morning and I've been up for a little while, and I am just chugging along at the little details of this book. I'm trying to really, um, I don't know, I'm really tired. And so yesterday I talked to somebody at church, again, a different person, who said they were following me on Instagram. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what? Like a real live person is actually like following me on Instagram. And I'm like, oh gosh, this is so embarrassing because I haven't posted anything on Instagram. I haven't really posted anything um, in the past couple of weeks. And I was really consistent for a good couple of months, maybe like 4 or 5 months or something. But I just haven't, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be posting. And I'm just kind of feeling overwhelmed with like, who am I speaking to? Like, who am I supposed to be helping? And I'm like, Lord, tell me what I need to do. And lately, I've really been asking the Lord to prepare my heart for success, because in my family struggles a lot with money. And I'm not sure if my relationship to money is that great, because I have gotten out of debt twice and I'm now back in debt. And I just kind of feel like I don't know if I'm necessarily ready for success. And I'm wondering if that's why, like, there hasn't been that level of success that I'm looking for. Like, I will have moments of like hopeful success and I'll have a couple, new students, but then it kind of fizzles out, and I keep going and I keep trying to make, I don't know. I keep trying to do the same thing and with little different twists. But I talked to somebody, when I talked to that lady yesterday, it sounded like she was looking for more accountability and encouragement that she can do it. And I wonder if more people are looking for accountability to get their book done. Like, people seem to have this desire to write a book, but they never get it done. And they say that what gets scheduled gets done, right? In order to achieve a goal like writing a book, we need to do the thing. We need to actually do it. But a lot of people are like, oh, well, I don't have time. But you have time to scroll through your cell phone, right? And I'm talking to me right now, right? So if we have time to scroll on the cell phone, we have plenty of time to write a couple sentences, and we don't necessarily need to know what we're going to write right off the bat. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we feel like we have to like sit down for hours and be this amazing writer, but we really don't. We really don't need to. And I feel like that's why people get stuck. Tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, if you want to write a book, then why haven't you done it yet? Like, really and truly ask yourself, like, why haven't I done this? And the book I'm creating right now has literally been something I started like 3 or 4 years ago or something like that. Like, and I'm just now taking the time to finish this because I was working on other things. And honestly, I have a couple books done and I haven't published them yet. And they're children's books. And I don't know why I haven't published them, to be honest. I just kind of am feeling kind of stuck right now. And this is me just being raw and real as a business owner, what it's like to have my own business. It's like vlog style, except I'm sitting here and I'm not moving around because it's 6:00 in the morning. But I just kind of feel like having this like idea of like, well, why are we not achieving our goals? Why are we not successful in what we're wanting to do? And really, what is success? Like, if you think about it, like if I give up, then I'm a failure. But if I don't give up and I keep going, even if I'm not successful in the moment, if I don't see success right now, like, what does that even mean? Am I failing? No. But in my mind, I kind of feel like I'm failing because I'm like, I don't have any students. Nobody's like responding. Like nobody's, communicating with me in the chat. Like, honestly, I love talking to people and I love the back and forth. Like I don't like posting and not getting any feedback. Like, I'm like, it hurts because apparently I like talking, and I like hearing somebody else talk back to me, because if I'm just posting videos and nobody says anything, nobody makes a comment, like, how do I know if that's helpful to them? How do I know if I'm speaking to the right people or like really understanding my students or the people that God has created me to talk to? Because God has created each and every one of us to speak to a specific person. So how do we know if we're not getting feedback? If there's not a two-way street. Communication is a two-way street. It takes two people to communicate. And if I'm just like spouting out videos and nobody's like responding, it makes me want to kind of like sit back and just kind of reflect and just kind of like, what do I do, Lord? Do I keep going? Do you actually want me to do this? Like, what do you want me to use my writing for? Do I use writing as a tool to help people heal from their past? Or do I use it as a tool to help people gain confidence in themselves so that they can, be, share their story, whether it's a children's story or a novel or something? Like what exactly is it that the Lord wants to use me for? And I feel like that's a good question for everybody. What does the Lord want to use you for in your business? Having a business is not easy at all. And I think it's this struggle sometimes to really keep going. And that's why most businesses fail in the first 5 years, or maybe 3 years. I don't know what the statistic is, but I heard that's a statistic that most businesses fail. And I think it's because there's a lot of work that's involved that has no feedback. And you're kind of just drawing at straws and you're like, what's going to work? What's going to work? And then you spend all this money and then you go bankrupt and you're like, oh gosh, I can't do it. But I think that by just keep on keeping on, I think that right there, if we don't give up, then we're not failing. So I've been at this since 2020. Okay. Like January 2020 is when I launched my business. And I had no idea that I would still be in this place right now of getting sporadic sales. Even my book sales this month, oh my goodness. Like, and I knew that, usually there's like a lull of sales. Usually I get like $30 a month or so in book sales, but this month I've got like $9, and I'm just like, oh gosh, I'm not even advertising either. Like, I shouldn't be complaining because I'm not talking about my books. I'm not telling people about it. Like, I'm literally just relying on Amazon to do the selling for me, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I really need to talk about my books. But in my mind, I'm like, so what do? I feel like I have two different businesses, and I kind of essentially do have two different businesses. I have my book side where I create books, and I've got children's books, and I've got prayer journals, and I've got other things. And, I've got that side of the Mommy Scribbles business. But then I also have this coaching side that's like I want to help people create books because I know what writing has done for me, and I love it. And it has gotten me through so much. So it's not like writing is healing, but it's also about like just sharing your story and, reaching the people that God has created you to reach. And so I'm like, which one do I focus on? Do I focus on this, the book side and like just promote my books? Because honestly, I am only one person, and I cannot have multiple accounts where I'm like promoting two separate things. And if I have one account that promotes my books and my coaching, that could get very confusing, especially children's books mixed with coaching on how to write children's books. Does that really make sense? Because I'm not really selling my books to those people. I'm selling the art of creating those books, like how to do it. So I feel like I'm kind of like in this like limbo because I love creating books, but I'm not actually like promoting them, and I just get sales organically. And every once in a while, like I'll be in a Facebook group and somebody will be like, oh, I'm looking for this kind of book. And I'm like, oh, I have this. Or I'm looking for this course. And I'm like, oh, I have this. And I've gotten sales from that, but it's not really an effective way to get sales because I'm not trying to like, I don't know. Anyway, if you are trying to start a business and you feel like you're struggling getting sales, then I can empathize with that. But don't give up because you're not failing. Okay? You are not failing if you're not making sales. Right now, Myron Golden says that if you what does he say? Something about like if you don't get the sales now, if it's not working for you, if it's not working for you, it's working on you. That's what it is. So if you're not getting sales now and you're struggling, then God is preparing you for the next step, for success. And honestly, that's my prayer, is for God to prepare my heart for success. Because am I really ready to be a millionaire? Like I was listening to a podcast, like, are you ready to achieve this goal that you have? Are you really ready to become a millionaire? Like, I'm saying it right now. I would like to be a millionaire. I would like to give my children a life that I didn't have and opportunities that I didn't have. But at the same time, like, we don't need those things. Like, my kids want to be in dance and acting and all these different things. But recently, the Lord just has been putting on my heart, like, your kids don't need all that stuff. Yeah, that would be great to give them that opportunity, but they don't need that. Like, it's not going to make their life complete and amazingly awesome. It's really not. And maybe that's why. Maybe my want should change. Maybe there needs to be a shift in perception in myself, because I teach this to my students, like in story, there has to be a shift in perception before the transformation happens. And every story is about transformation. And if that transformation is to occur, there has to be a shift in perception. Okay, first and foremost. So, what is my shift in perception? What do I need to shift in order to achieve success in my business and success in like my goal of becoming a millionaire? I would be the first millionaire in my family if I was to achieve this goal. And it sounds crazy wild to me to even say it out loud. Like, I get nervous saying out loud that I want to be a millionaire. And it's not about money. It's really not. So what is my why? What is your why? Why are we doing this? Why are we trying to have a business as godly women? Like, why are we trying to do this? Is it for selfish reasons? And maybe that's why we haven't achieved success yet? Or are we just not ready yet to be able to, like, what does a millionaire do in their daily life to achieve that success? Like, what mentality do we need to have, and what shift in perception do we need to have with this relationship of money? Like, I get a large amount of money, and then I pay off debt, and then I get back in debt. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I hope this encourages you in some way, and you just keep on keeping on and don't give up. Okay? So until next time, keep scribbling.